He tells them immediately in verse 9 of chapter 45, Pasuk Tet, Maru v'alo el avi, and tell Abba, Bincha Yosef, your son Yosef, Samani Elokim. Okay? God has made me the Adon. And now he takes out the program. I have a neighborhood for you. Huh? I have Parnasa, economic welfare for you. Right? Verse 9, verse 10. V'yashafta ve'eretz Goshen. Here is his program. An actual program. It's ready. I have an area called Goshen. Apparently it's not next to the urban centers of Egypt. Vaita karov elai, but you'll be close to me. Who? Ata, you. Who's he speaking to?
Yudah.
He's right now speaking to Yudah. Uvanecha, but it means Ata can be the entire family. Your sons, Uvnei vanecha, there's grandchildren. Vitzoncha v'korcha, all your properties you have. Sheep and cattle, whatever you have. How are you going to make ends meet at the end of the month? How will you be able to finance a big family? It's a headache. Verse 11, Yud Aleph. V'chi chalti otcha sham. Kalkala. Okay, you're studying an economic degree. Kalkala. Lechalkel, to sustain, to provide.
Kalkala means?
Economics, that's right.
That's what is a calculate.
The calculator.
I see a link.
Okay, I'm going to provide for you. Ki od chamesh shanim rav, there's another 5 years of famine here. The sons, the brothers are listening and listening. We don't see any statement coming out of their mouth. They're hearing about a plan of a neighborhood, a plan of economic provisions. Pasuk Yud Bet. V'inei enechem ra'ot v'inei achi Benyamin. Benyamin is there apparently. Ki pia medaber lechem. Ken, you have no worry. It's me. I'm Yosef. By the way, he makes who equal to who? Benjamin to his brothers. Is that showing favoritism? Why is he specifying Benjamin? Rashi saw this, and his answer to the question is, just like I have no hatred to my brother Benjamin, and why? Was Benjamin involved in the sale of Yosef? No, he was not. So too, in my heart, I have no hatred to you. That's why I'm equating. Just like I love Benjamin, I love you. What are the clear signs? What must the brothers do? Pasuk Gimel, verse 13, V'gadetem le'avi, tell Abba, et kol kvodi, all the honor that I have in Egypt. The honor that I have is only because of to save his brothers and family. V'kol asher ritem, umihartem, quickly. V'oradetem et avi hena, bring Abba down. So you can say bring Abba down physically, going south is going down, but also spiritually, which means a compromise, to give up the holy land, the land of prophecy, the land of our ancestors. Would you please answer the following question? Wow, a change in the life of the brothers. Yosef discloses himself. What is the reply? What is the answer? What is the response of the brothers here? Is there a response? Is there a reply? Huh?
There's no reply.
No reply.
They're still shocked.
They may be in shock. The answer we may see later in the next parsha, which is Vayechi, the finale of the first book of the 5 books, the book of Bereshit. Okay? But we do see the following. Vayipol al tzavrei Benyamin achi vayefk. Who falls and cries?
Yosef.
Okay? He falls on tzavrei. What is a tzavar?
Neck.
The neck. How many necks do you have?
1.
How many necks are written here? Tzavarei, singular or plural?
2.
Plural. So we ask ourselves, what's going on? Why is it written in plural? The necks of Binyamin Achiv, and he's crying, and Rashi brings the famous words of the oral Torah, the Chazal, Mesechet Megillah. Rashi says, look below if you have it, Al Shnei Migdashot. The necks are representing 2 sanctuaries, 2 temples. Shatidim liot bechelko shebinyamin. You know, most of the temple area, later when we go into the land of Israel, is part of the geographic area of Binyamin. Okay? He's falling on the necks of Binyamin. It's representing there's going to be crying in the future. There's going to be sorrow and crying in the future for the destruction of 2 temples that are part of the geographic area of Binyamin, which will be destroyed. Temple 1 destruction, Temple 2 destruction. What about Temple 3, which is yet to be built? Will it be destroyed?
No.
According to our understanding, that'll be the final redemption. No more destruction. The nations of the world, as we read the prophecies of Isaiah, will recognize the vitality, the centrality of the Jewish people, the God of Israel. So that's a matter of the answering plural, tzavare, the necks of Binyamin. And what about Binyamin? What is he doing? He's meeting his brother the first time in 22 years. Uvinyamin bachal tzavarav. He's also crying Binyamin on the neck of the brother of Yosef. And Rashi says this has symbolic understanding for the future that Yosef represents which 2 tribes later on? Ephraim and Menachem. What will be in the tribal area of Yosef? The sanctuary in Shiloh. Okay? About 40 plus kilometers north of here on the mountain road. Some of you have passed it, have been inside the town of Shiloh. Archaeologists have found remnants going back to the tabernacle. Was like a miniature holy temple in Shiloh. It lasted 369 years. And we come to the time of learning about Samuel the prophet. Okay, gentlemen, it says that they speak with one another at the end of verse 15. And look at this. Yosef is dominating the kissing industry. He kisses each and every one of his brothers. It says, Vayinashek l'chol echav. The Torah says it. He's showing love. If you had any resolve, any doubts about this matter, don't have any doubts. Paro hears about this. Pasuk Tet Zayin, what will be the reaction of Paro? Vakol nishma, verse 16 of chapter 45. Beit Paro lemor, what is heard? The news is, Bo Ache Yosef. These people that have arrived, they're the brothers of Yosef. What does that mean for Paro?
It means that Yosef is not leaving, they're coming.
That's one meaning. What's another meaning?
It's going to be a good period because Yosef was a good...
Wow, if Yosef is such an economist, if he's such a great financial advisor, if he has such intelligence, imagine having 12 Yosefs in our administration. That's why Vayitav Tov Be'einei Paro. In his intelligence, what is a great idea. I'd be so happy to have down here all the brothers of Yosef. Uvenei Avadav, the administration would be very happy. And therefore, Paro says, let me be a sport. Vayomer Paro Yosef, in verse 17, Emor elachecha, tell your brothers the following, Zotasu, Ta'anu et birchem, load up your animals. Load up your animals. Load them up with what?
With the package, you display everything from your house.
Load up, no. You're right. How do I know? I thought it's loading up first with things to bring down, to bring up to Yaakov. Tanu et birchem ulechu vo arza Kenan. In other words, look, I have a trucking company. The king of Paro says, I have a lot of trucks. You're right. Take all my trucks. Take the trucks up to the land of Canaan. Load them up. It's a moving company, and bring them down to Mitzrayim. In other words, if you have sentimental values, items that it's hard for you to depart from, pack up and come down to me. Wow, what a ticket. Verse 18, Ukhu et avichem et batechem. Take all your matters. Uvo elai, come to me. Vetna lechem et tuv eretz Mitzrayim. What an invitation. You'll get the best. Ve'ichlu et chelev haaretz. Okay, we've seen historically how leaders of countries were very happy to have members of the Jewish people living in their countries for obvious economic and financial reasons, engineering reasons. They saw how they can benefit from Jewish individuals. And it starts from here. Paro says, wow, if Yosef did so much to me, if I have 12 Yosefs here, that would be great. And he gets an invitation, and he'd be very happy to have. No, remember, Paro knows this family. 1 or 2 Paros ago, who came down to Mitzrayim with his wife and told, it's my sister? Avram Avinu. And what happened to his administration when he tried to have relations with Mrs. Sarah or Sarai? They were all infected. They were all hit with a plague. That's news. That, wow, these people are godly. They have God on their side. They have a secret value, godliness. So this Paro knows about it. Okay. Let's skip. Look what's happening in verse 21. Vayasu chen b'nei Yisrael. And they did this. B'nei Yisrael. It's an interesting concept. We're going to see it a lot afterwards. But they're not called B'nei Yaakov. And according to our understanding that we've been trying to explain, 2 names, Yisrael and Yaakov. When the name of Yaakov was changed, as we explained here, it was never meant that the name Yaakov will never be used. But there are 2 levels or 2 dimensions of this existence called Yaakov and Yisrael. Yaakov is the lower level, the heel, the akev. Our existence usually in the diaspora, in the galut. Whereas, in contrast, Yisrael, the name Yisrael is a higher entity, a higher level of spiritual, divine existence. Bnei Yisrael are going back up to the land of Israel, but it's a return trip ticket. They're going there and coming back because their objective is to bring their father and live now down in Mitzrayim. But God, who's writing this narrative, knows that this is part of the making of the covenant of the pieces, to remember the Brit Bein HaBitarim. And the objective of Yaakov and his sons and his family to live is to grow and grow and grow and form a nation in a few generations from now. And this is all pre-told a few hundred years ago by God to Avraham. How it's working, in which generation, we're told when we're going to be coming back. But how it's working, Yosef understands that this is a necessary matter. We're going to see in our next shiur, will or will not Yaakov know that now is the time for the formation of this nation? Michal Ari, what do you want to ask?
A question, because so the sons of Yaakov are called now here the sons of Israel, and so as the Rabbi explained, like Israel is like on a higher level. Does it also mean that that the sons, they completed the Shuvah and that they now worthy of becoming called sons of Israel?
We certainly learned in yesterday's shur that they're in the process of Shuvah. They admitted to their fault, and they're expressing regret. We made the mistake. Tshuva has there are infinite levels of tshuva, infinite levels. We know the basic format of tshuva, 4 famous levels. 1, admission. 2, regretting. 3, receiving upon ourselves not to repeat it. And 4th, that when we encounter a similar situation and overcome, that's more or less a higher level of completion of tshuva. There's no doubt that they're going through a process of tshuva, but later we can still see in the scripture that they have suspicions. What happens after Yaakov passes away? Will Yosef then get back at them or something? They're not so sure in their hearts, but they're certainly going through a process of tshuva. Okay, gentlemen, let's... I want to skip with all the traveling. Pasuk Kafeh, verse 25. Vaya'alu miMitzrayim. They're making aliyah, like Shua is making aliyah. Vayavo Eretz Canaan. LA is like the Mitzrayim of then. Vayavo Eretz Canaan El Yaakov Avihem Vayagidu lo. And here they're telling him, here's the news, 3 words, Od Yosef Chai. Uh-oh. Od Yosef Chai. That's one point they're telling him, Yosef is still alive. And number 2, V'chihu Moshel B'chol Eretz Mitzrayim. Not only is he alive, but he's the governor, he's the ruler in the land of Mitzrayim. What is the reaction to Yaakov? Vayafog libo. See how I read it in verse 26? A biblical verb with 2 consecutive kamats. The second kamatz is equivalent to an O. Vayafog libo. Gentlemen, it seems like he's going into cardiac arrest. Vayafog is the proper pronunciation, sir. When we see a biblical verb, and he did this with 2 kamats, one after the other, the second kamat, the O, is an O. One of the rules of grammar, Hebrew grammar. I know it can teach you something. You like that one, right? Stick around, we'll tell you more. Vayafog libo, and his, do we understand why? Kilo minlam. He's like frozen. As if, the Ibn Ezra and the Ramban says, as if he stopped breathing. As if the movement of his heart cessated, and he was like a dead person. That's what Nachmanides brings. And we know this is a fact. It's a biological fact that when someone is told sudden news, physiologically and mentally, the mental matter has a physiological impact. A person like freezes, all of a sudden his heart stops. There's no pumping of air and blood. Wow. Vayidabru elav. I don't know if they're giving him, what is it called? RC, what is it called? Respiration? What is the 3 letters? RC, respiration. I just forgot it. What is it called? CPR. I had one of the letters there. I was going to say PCR, CPR, which is?
It's like, they try and get the heart going again.
Right. What does it stand for, CPR?
No idea.
Cardiac?
Pressure.
CPR. Okay. We'll test you tomorrow about this. Gentlemen, they tell the entire situation, and right now we can sum up and say the brothers are together. There's new life for Yaakov Avinu. And the question is, to what direction will Yaakov take this? Will he go down? Will he not go down? Will he go down for the purpose of a visit or the purpose of settling? For this